And we're live. They promised me we're going to have some music sometime so we can like music into my show. Instead, I just have me looking at the monitor, seeing the live feed. Mike Pingel here with Behind the Curtain. I keep screwing it up so people are like, behind the duck, I don't know what's going on with me. But anyway, this is the Mike Pingel Show, and I'm Mike Pingel. I'm here with the lovely, wonderful, exciting, all-around lady, Chelsea Steiner.
Hi, everybody.
She is a screenwriter, a blogger, a sex educator. Yeah, we're going to talk about sex today. And is here to talk about her new project, Please Come Again.
Thank you, come again.
Thank you, come again. See? Here we go, people. We're going to now share this on my Facebook page, but let's talk. How did the show come about?
Well, Mike Pingel, it's
Yes.
interesting you ask.
That's my name.
I work at the Pleasure Chest in West Hollywood, a very well-known, famous, upscale erotic boutique with stores in New York and Chicago, and online, pleasurechest.com. And I do all of their social media, and I'm a sex educator there. And once I started this job, like most screenwriters in Los Angeles, I am frequently unemployed, and I needed a day job. So I started working at the Pleasure Chest, and it's a job I kind of fell into. I didn't really have, I had some blogging, but I didn't really have a social media background. I just had a writing background, and I didn't have an adult industry background either. But, you know, I'd been around the block. So yeah. I kind of...
What? Been around the block? I'm just trying to share this on my page, and I'm here, but been around the block. Tell us about the block.
It is long and tired.
What?
But
okay, now I'm all yours. I have too much stuff to do.
I know. You're a very busy man. You're running a media empire here.
That's why I have her here, media empire.
But yeah, so as soon as I started the job, I was like, oh my God, this is a TV show. Because it's by far, it's definitely the most interesting place I've ever worked. But what surprised me, and it shouldn't have looking back, but what surprised me was how diverse the people who work at the store are. Yeah. I mean, I've never worked in an environment where almost everyone was queer. Wow. Almost everyone was kind of exploring the gender spectrum. And it was just by far the most diverse, fun, interesting group of people. Yeah. There's definitely it's very like misfits come together to work at the store because it draws, you know, working at a sex store draws an unusual kind of person, an unorthodox kind of person. And so once I started working there, I was like, oh, this would be such a great setting for workplace comedy.
And you're so normal.
I know, I look so normal, just like you. But yeah, and it's just this funny thing that I kind of stumbled into, and then I found it really inspiring as a writer. So then I just basically created the series loosely based off of my experiences and the experiences of other employees, because it's a fascinating place to work. There's never a dull day. So
now are the characters in the show based solely on people, or are they like combinations of people?
They're amalgams, definitely. Okay. So they're definitely a combination of people who work at the store, also just people that I've known in my life. I think you kind of, as a writer, you kind of borrow a little bit from everywhere. Yeah. You know, if you're pulling from real life, you're pulling from your imagination, and like all these different influences. And
so are the people working in the store, are they going to be in the show, or are they just...
Well, one of our actresses, Michelle LaBelle, works on the floor, and she plays the manager in the show. And she is also a sex educator at the store. She's a burlesque performer. So she's going to be in the show, and we have people who work at the store popping up in the background. Nice. If you watch the trailer, it's mostly employees in the background walking around being extras because I asked nicely. That's
nice. No, she and I were on a panel at Palm Springs Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
On Wonder Woman, yes.
She does a lot of panels. She's a big cosplayer.
She is a big cosplayer.
And very active in the queer cosplay community. But yeah, she's a dream. Really, really talented individual. We're actually teaching a class together on October 25th. If you're in the Los Angeles area, October 25th, 8 p.m., The Pleasure Chest. Michelle and I are teaching oral sex for everyone. It's going to be hilarious. It's a really fun show. We have a lot of fun together.
You might learn something.
And we might be dressed up in costumes. Who knows? It's right before Halloween.
What?
I can't make any guarantees, but I don't know. Harley Quinn and Wonder Woman might make an appearance.
What? Okay, there you go. And they're both going to teach you how to give a BJ?
And
wow.
And eat at the Y and everything in between. It's a class for everyone. All genitals welcome.
Okay.
All about inclusivity.
See, I told you sex. So we'll get back. We're going to get back to that sex stuff because I have some questions, some burning questions. Which character is you in the show?
Oh boy, everyone asks me that. I guess it's Riley, who's the main character. The premise of the show is basically this girl who's an academic, who's very like cerebral, very in her head, kind of studying human sexuality from a removed, kind of more clinical place.
Okay.
Starts working at the pleasure chest and kind of gets thrown into it. And so the journey is going to be kind of her sexual discovery, her kind of learning about herself, and kind of getting in touch and in tune with her own body.
Kind of fish out of water, but into a sea of sex water.
Exactly. Yes, the sea of lube.
Oh, there you go. That's why you're the writer and I'm just the person talking.
I tried. But yeah, so I guess probably Riley, but I was definitely, I thought I knew what I was talking about before this job, and then I started the job and I was like, oh, I don't know anything. I was learning all this stuff.
So how can people out there, I know you just filmed the trailer, what can they do to help bring thank you, come again, to the people, to the masses, to them?
So, masses, we are running an Indiegogo campaign to raise funds for the series. You can visit it. The link will be in the description area.
Yes.
So visit our Indiegogo. You can also follow us at TYCA Show on all platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and if you follow at TYCA Show, there will be a link to the Indiegogo in the bio sections. So even if you can't donate money, give us a retweet, post about us, get the word out.
Share it to your friends.
Share it to your friends.
See, that's why I couldn't find you, because it's TYCO. I couldn't find the hat. Now I can find you.
I know.
Now I can find you. Now, off into the sex education area, people. So, sex education.
Yes.
A hard field to get into? And no pun. No pun.
You just slip right in.
See, look, there's even a happy face.
Yes, the work is very hard, very long, very stiff hours. It's a very penis-y job.
See? Good.
Well, I got into it. I grew up in a very kind of liberal, open household. Okay. So my mom is a real 60s hippie, went to Woodstock, partied at the factory with Andy Warhol. So I grew up in a very liberal household. Yeah. Where it was and she was very forthright with us about sex education, about, it wasn't, a conservative house by any means. Mm. And it was always just treated as this thing that's just the fact of life, and everyone does it, and you can do it when you're ready, and don't feel pressured to do it. But there was never any, there's never any villainizing of sex. There was never any sort of negative messaging around it. Okay. So I grew up pretty well adjusted, but I was also a big nerd. So I wasn't having sex in high school anyway. I was too busy playing board games and reading comics. Like an awesome person.
Like a lot of us did, yes. Yes.
But then, I went to college, and I realized, wow, other people have not had this experience, and most of the people at my college really didn't know the first thing about safe sex, or taking care of themselves, or consent, or just stuff that I grew up taking for granted that I knew. And that was when I first realized, oh, wow, there is no sex education in our schools. If it is, it's usually fear-based, or it's, don't get pregnant or you'll die. And it's a very, and so I was kind of the person who would talk to my other friends on the dorm floor being like, did you use a condom? Are you on birth control? Just kind of, I became that go-to person of I need the morning after pill. Can you give me a ride? So I kind of landed into that role. Yeah. And it just kind of took off from there. But so I've always been interested in sex education. I've always been a big proponent of education and, educating people and getting the word out, because we have this weird dichotomy in our culture right now, where on the one hand, there's no sex education really in schools. If you do, it's the bare minimum. It's not pleasure-based. And then on the other hand, we have this insane massive proliferation of internet porn. So
what?
Everywhere. What? The internet?
Internet porn?
Everyone just left this channel now and is going to look up.
Don't leave.
They're like,
we have another 15, 20 minutes. Then you can go find porn. And don't download it.
So you'll get a virus. But we live in this world now where people are learning about sex through porn, which can be educational, which can be helpful, but a lot of it is sending, it's not realistic sex. It's not,
Sure.
It's like there's a sex educator named Dorit Mahalko that says learning to have sex from watching porn is like learning to drive by watching Fast and the Furious movies. It's like someone's going to get hurt.
Yes.
So we're trying, at the Pleasure Chest, we do a free weekly workshop series at our locations. And Wednesday nights, you can come by, you learn something new for free, all different topics, classes, and you get 15% off. So it's a win-win, and it's our part to just helping to educate people because, there's obviously a major lack of education.
Yeah, there's a big, huge gap between love, sex, and porn. Because I worked at Playboy, and we still watched a lot of porn, and none of it's real. I mean, it's real porn, it's real sex, but I mean,
it's not real.
Most of the situations, I mean, and the thing with, watching porn is most of it's fantasy, and that's what you have to look at it. It's all about a fantasy, and there's a lot of unacceptable fantasy that happens that I think becomes maybe too norm now because people have too much access to it.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get away from it. It's everywhere.
I know. Going through my questions. Okay, hold on a second. What is the weirdest question you've ever had working at the Pleasure Chest by someone?
Oh, gosh. I mean, we get a lot of, what's funny is people will come in and say, like, I have a really weird question. I have a really crazy request. And we're just like, there's no such thing. Like, literally, like, whatever it is, we've heard about it. We've talked about it. There's no, weird or wrong question.
Yeah.
But definitely the most interesting, for me, the most interesting ones are the ones that turn into emotional revelations and epiphanies. Because what's funny about working at a sex shop is you're not just a clerk. It's not like, oh, I'm working at the Gap, I'm getting you a pair of khakis. You become a de facto sex therapist, a marriage counselor. People will come in and tell you, really intimate stuff. So I think my favorite customer interaction was this woman comes in, and she's like, I'm looking for a toy. I'm having sex with this man. He's the love of my life, and he's marrying someone else. And this is our last weekend to, hook up. So I want to send him off and, show him what he's missing. And I was like, okay, we got to unpack. I got to hear the whole, let's take it back. So she talked to me for no joke, 45 minutes. She cried. I cried. We hugged at the end. It was like an insane emotional journey. And then I could see, while she was talking, I could see my boss behind her being like, are you okay? Do you need help?
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'm in it. Let's break through this moment together.
Is that going to be in the show?
I'm sure it'll wend its way in there, definitely.
That sounds interesting. That sounds.
Oh yeah, but what's cool is it's such a range, and at a store, we're in the heart of West Hollywood. You get a range of clientele. I mean, old, young, straight, gay, trans, queer. Truly, there's no typical customer. I mean, it's such a range.
Yeah, I've been in there and I've seen. Mom, I wasn't there. I mean, when I thought I was there.
You went and asked for directions.
There were couples. Yeah. I was seeing if they had the new. I don't know. Whatever. No, there were just a variety of people in there, and there are kids being funny. There's couples there together. There, it's trying to break that taboo. Remember when you'd drive by and that there would be that store with that black, and there'd be adults.
Yeah.
And you'd be creeping in, and it's so different now. I think that hopefully people are more expressive and able to get there and not worry that, no, I didn't go there, Mom. She's worried about that.
But yeah, I mean, I do think, and a big part of what we're doing is we're trying to take sex out of the shadows and not make it this brown paper bag, frosted window, furtive kind of experience. You know, we're all about sex positivity. So that's why when you walk into the store, it looks more like an Urban Outfitters than it does an adult store.
You walk in, there's a whole card section first you get there.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday cards. They're easing you into the dildos and the porn and the slings in the back. I don't know. I've never been there before. So what's the most common question you get at the pleasure chest?
The most common question is probably like, what's the best toy? Or what's the best vibrator?
What is the best toy? What's the best vibrator?
Well, the answer is it depends. It depends on the person because everybody's different.
Sure.
And it depends on what you like and what you're into. So like one toy, and everyone has different reactions to toys. So if like your best friend has a toy that she loves and she's like, oh my God, this toy is incredible, just because it works for her, it might not work for you. So it's always a bit of a, you never know until you try something. But I will say right now, everyone that I work with is really obsessed with this toy called the Womanizer. And it's a terrible title.
That is a terrible title.
It's a terrible title. And this toy, it looks better now, but when it came out, it had like leopard print and like a big rhinestone button. Like it was the cheapest looking toy. And it was called the Womanizer. And so we were all making fun of it and being like, oh, this piece of junk. And then we all took one home and used it. And we were like, oh my God, this changes the game entirely. And it's just like something that's never really been done before in a toy.
Wow.
So now we're all obsessed with it.
So you're all going to have to go down and look at this Womanizer and see what it's about.
Yes. If you're someone who owns a clitoris, get yourself to the store. Pick up a Womanizer. You will not be sorry.
There you go. And that was my next question. Did you try it? But I guess you already have, so.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of toys to test or to write reviews on. So now, like, if you work at a sex store, you end up with a comical amount of sex toys in your house. It just floods in.
Or if you work at Playboy, you get a lot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you guys must have gotten tons of stuff.
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I had to box away when my parents were here this past week.
Oh my God, the boxing away of the toys when people come to visit now in my house is a whole thing. It's insane because there's so much of it. It's just everywhere.
I know, and then when you're walking around, you're like, what? Oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't have that out. I had a box. It's a celebrity dildo. I hope Mom's not watching this one. That was signed by the artist. They had given it to me for my birthday. It was just proudly displayed, and I was like, my aunt's coming. I guess I should take that down. It just becomes part.
Oh yeah, it's the kind of thing where it just like, it's a lot. It takes up a lot of space.
And talking about space. You're a comic book nerd.
I am. Oh God, speaking of space.
And she's wearing Wonder Woman.
I don't know if it'll make it on there. It's my longer. This necklace, actually, my sister got it for me in Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv?
Yeah.
Wow.
You think they love Wonder Woman here? Tel Aviv, they love Wonder Woman.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite character?
In like all of comics?
All of comics. Who do you like?
Oh man, I mean, very tough question. I would have to say my tops are like Wonder Woman, obviously. Okay. She's an icon. Yeah. She's a role model. That's just a character that I've loved forever. Selena Kyle. Okay. Obviously, I mean, these aren't real niche picks. But I would also say Kate Kane as Batwoman.
Okay.
Is for me one of my favorites because she's a queer character. And I like characters that are flawed. And which brings me to my absolute favorite comic book character, which is Jessica Jones. And I was a huge Jessica Jones fan before the series came out. I loved the series. Yeah. I thought the series was incredible. But I read all of those comics like a year or two before the series. I just kind of stumbled upon them, and I just fell in love with it. I love seeing, because you really don't see a flawed female protagonist, especially in comics. You either have that, it's good versus evil. It's the girlfriend, or it's the bitch, or it's the villain.
Exactly.
And you don't really get a character that deals with like nuance and trauma and addiction. And like, to me, Jessica Jones is such a rich, interesting character. And you really, like, for me, I love that character. I'm always rooting for that character to win. So that's my personal favorite.
Do you have a favorite comic book period? These are hard questions, people. Hard questions.
I mean, I haven't read a lot of older comics because I started reading comics in high school. And I remember like pretty much the first ones that I got really into were graphic novels, like Ghost World was probably the first comic I read where I was like, I guess I'm into comics now because this is incredible. And it was like, it felt so like snarky and adult, and it was just, I had seen the movie and I adored the movie, and when I got the book, I was just like, this is me in a comic. So it really, and then from there I read Optic Nerve, other Daniel Close stuff, other Adrian Tomine stuff. I got a little bit into Neil Gaiman with some Promethea. So I kind of got into that. I had read Batman off and on growing up, but that was once I started getting into like once I understood what graphic novels were, and kind of then I got into, you know, the classics and Alan Moore and V for Vendetta and The Watchmen, and kind of like, you know, jumped into there. There's a comic that I really love right now. I believe it's Brubaker, and it's called Velvet. Okay. And it's basically, it's like a spy story. And I'm like 90% sure it's called Velvet. I hope I'm correct.
Let us know, people. Let us know.
Let us know, internet. But it's basically about a woman who's a spy who has kind of a desk job and then has to go back into the field. And she's like a middle-aged woman in the field kicking ass and just like being a James Bond-like spy. And it's a really beautifully illustrated book. And I just really responded to the character. I'm a sucker for good spy stories. So
that's good. So what comic would you want to come to the big screen now?
I mean, Batwoman Detective, absolutely.
Batwoman Detective?
Yeah,
what is that?
Basically, it's pretty much Kate Kane's story. I mean, I would love to if any producers are out there watching, my fantasy is to one day write a comic book movie.
Oh, there you go.
Or even and I have a script that I'm trying to turn into a comic book right now. I love working in kind of that superhero genre. And I love really anything with superheroes. So that's like a personal dream / goal of mine.
What did you think about the Wonder Woman movie?
Loved it. Everything I wanted it to be. I cried like a baby. For me, and like, it was the kind of thing where I had, like, it felt like I had so much I mean, I think about a lot of nerdy women where, like, if they don't get this right, they won't let us make another female comic book driven movie for like 20 years. So like this has to be good, and you want it. You know, and we've all had disappointments of like, this movie's going to be amazing, and it comes out and you're like, oh, that crushed my heart. but for me, this like resonated in and it wasn't just me. I mean, women all over the world and men. It was really powerful and resonant, and I thought it was beautiful. I really, really enjoyed that movie a lot.
I think they captured what Wonder Woman was, what Wonder Woman is, what she stands for. A lot of it, you know, I'm a huge TV Linda Carter fan. I wrote a book. If you guys don't have it, buy it. And there was a moment when she's in the bunker and she you know, they're like, come on, we're gonna go, and she's like, no, I'm going this way. I'm going to go help those people, and I don't care what you guys are doing. I'm here to help people and the people who are repressed. And at that moment, I was like, it is. This is it. And just the way everything worked in the whole film, and it's just amazing.
I mean, it's a beautifully written film. It's beautifully directed. And for me, it was just like, it's so nailed because Wonder Woman's greatest superpower is her empathy. Yes. It's her love for the world and her want to help people and to do good things and to fight against evil. Like, it's such a soulful character, and I think that they really brought that soul into the movie. Yeah. And they really, and just, I mean, man, if that movie had come out when I was a little girl, it would have, I already went insane, and I'm an adult woman. But it's just exciting to see little girls see it and get inspired, because those things are like, it's so formative, that pop culture that you see when you're young, and it really like leaves an impression. I don't
know, Charlie's Angels, Star Wars for me. I don't know.
But that stuff, it sticks with you. I mean, like for me, like Buffy was huge for me. I mean, I'm a total Buffy nut. But like those kinds of stories that you see when you're younger are just really, and I was a huge Ghostbusters person. I mean, Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, I was all about it. Yeah. But that kind of stuff, it just has a really, like, strong influence on you.
It does. All of that. Now, I found it very interesting that you were also a roller derby girl.
I was. I skated derby. I did. I got in. I got into it because I had been to a couple of bouts as a attendee, and I was like, this is badass. This is amazing. I already liked contact sports. I grew up doing judo. I'm actually a black belt in judo, so I grew up very competitive, and I'm not scared of getting hurt or getting scrappy. But what I did was I really wanted to do derby, but I did not know how to roller skate.
What?
And they
had
said,
to learn how to roller skate.
I know. But they were like, that's fine. We'll teach you how to skate. You'll be, don't worry about it. So I was like, oh, great. I'll learn how to skate. It's really hard.
And you're going up a side, too. You're not just skating flat.
Yeah. Well, I started skating and I did banked track classes, which are those slanted tracks.
Yeah.
It is very difficult. So I did that for a little bit. Wasn't very good at it. Then I changed to a flat track league here in LA called Angel City Derby Girls. Shout out to ACDG. And it was easier, and I picked it up, and I got better. I would never say I was good. I never made it onto a team, but I really enjoyed it. It's great camaraderie. You meet the most interesting people. Like, all the women who do it and the men are just really cool and fun, and it's a very, kind of alt, queer-friendly kind of sport.
Yeah.
It's a very kind of like punky DIY kind of sport, which is fun.
That's what I see it as too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like, and I saw the movie Whip It, and I was like, well, I love that. And
Is it Drew's movie, Drew Barrymore? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, and I think that movie got a lot of people into roller derby, interested in derby. But yes, I started skating, and my skate name is Holla Back Girl.
Holla Back Girl. Woo!
And then I skated for a couple of years, and did some exhibition bouts and stuff. Before hanging at my skates. It's a ton of fun. It's a big time commitment.
Yeah.
So ultimately I was like, I'm not good enough at this to invest this much time in it. But I still have, I'm still friends with people that I skated with. It's a really great thing. It's a really great kind of open community.
It's a fun thing. It's very, very retro too, I think. Very fun.
Definitely.
Very fun
retro. Yeah.
So, and you have something coming up at a sex thing you're doing at Gay and Lesbian Center?
Yeah. So today,
right
now, if you're at UCLA, I will be at the LGBT Center today, Thursday, at 6 p.m. talking about how to have queer safe sex.
And that's for the coming out week.
Yes, it's coming out week. So come on out.
Come on out.
Come on out. The water's fine. But yeah, so I'll be there at UCLA at 6 o'clock tonight, talking about gay stuff. I'll be giving out free condoms. It'll be really fun.
So you get free stuff, you get to learn stuff, you have a lot of fun, you get to meet this lovely lady with all the information in her head. And tell us about where people can see the trailer and do all that fun stuff. So
you can go to Indiegogo and type in "Thank You Come Again" and our page will come up, or you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at TYCA Show, and the Indiegogo link will be in the bio. So click on the link, you can watch the trailer, you can find out about our actors, and I'm really excited. One more thing I want to mention about the series is it's going to be cast and crew is majority women, queer people, trans people, both in front of and behind the camera. We just cast an amazing trans actor as one of the lead roles. His name is Carter Ray. Is
that the one that was not cast yet? That was
it wasn't cast yet. But we cast it. Carter Ray is amazing, and we've got lots of really great, talented people. So with this show, I really just wanted to, kind of tell queer stories, tell trans stories, in a kind of fun, lighthearted comedy setting. That's not, a tragedy. That's not a dark story, but, just something kind of uplifting and bright and funny and silly and sexy. So, yeah. So
go to the page, donate so we can get that show on and help fun stories about sex. We all want to know about sex. We all want to know about sex. I'm Mike Pingel. Thank you guys for coming, listening, watching. Please share this with all your friends. Like us, click on our link. Donate. There's also some great gifts too.
Yes, if you donate to the fundraiser, we've got different gifts at different tier levels. So if you donate, not only are you helping support queer indie media, you can also get some sexy toys like some silk wrist cups. We've got bullet vibes. We've got sex toy kits. We've got Little Pocket Vibes. We've got all sorts of naughty items that you can buy, and I will mail them to you myself because this is a small operation.
See, you can donate, get some fun stuff, be sexy in your bedroom. I am doing the AIDS Walk next week. If you'd like to donate, please do. The link's on my feed down here. Also, Homecoming Queen's Got a Gun with Julie Brown is opening this Friday and Friday, I do her PR. Friday, Sunday, and then the following week, the links are down there if you want to buy tickets. Chico's Ages at the end of the month is coming back. And
Julie Brown's in our show.
Julie Brown's in your show?
Yeah, Julie Brown's going to make a cameo appearance in the show.
What?
As Riley's mom.
I'm going to have to text her, find out all about that. So Julie Brown's going to be in the show.
I'm very excited. I'm a huge Julie Brown fan.
Love Julie. She is amazing.
Oh, I've been obsessed with her since I was a kid. I mean, I had her tapes, I had her cassettes.
Just say Julie.
I have Trapped in the Body of a White Girl in a frame on my wall. Yeah, so I'm very excited. I don't know why she agreed to do this web series cameo, but she is. So
well, there you go.
So
you didn't have to use me. That's nice. You didn't have to use me at all.
Oh, we have to do Julie Brown talk after this. That's the show.
Gosh, we've talked. We've gone over today.
We did it.
Isn't that exciting? We've gone over. It's like a good sexy day. Good sexy day. Thank you all for saying best wishes with my mother. She is doing very well in the hospital. She had bypasses, and she's doing very well. I'm not doing as well as she is, but she's doing very well. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching Mike Pingel Show at BehindTheCurtain.tv. Please sign up if you want to see celebrities and come see the show next Thursday. And I guess that's it.
Great. Bye.
Bye.